What's up, guys? Half the Story Podcast episode 4 is here. Joining us today is my brother and his wife, Taylor and Madye Creery from Taylor and Madye Creery Photography, based out of Portland, Oregon. So they're going to come and talk to us about photography, traveling, whatever else pops up. So I hope you enjoy it, guys. I'll put their Instagram, Facebook handles in the links if you want to check out their pictures. So enjoy episode 4. What's up, guys? Episode 4 here. I'm here with Madye and Taylor from Taylor and Madye Creery Photography. They are not only my brother and my sister, they are also a awesome couple. What is it? 1-2 photographers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do they call it?
I don't
Couple
know.
photographers.
We should also mention it's sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you know,
Same
we
thing.
are from Iowa.
I mean, I've known Andy for almost as long as I've known you, though.
That's true.
True. So, not only are they family, they, like I said, are great photographers. And first, tell people what you guys do exactly and where you're from, what you do, kind of.
So, I really don't like when people call us wedding photographers. I prefer to think of us as photographers who photograph weddings.
Okay, what's
because
the difference?
because that's not the only thing we do.
Okay.
But also, I feel like there's a preconceived notion of what wedding photographers are that doesn't really hold true to what wedding photography has become. You know, sure, there's like all the details of wedding stuff, but really it's more about capturing human connection on a day that like everyone you know is going to be in the same room, and the only other day that's probably going to happen is your funeral. So,
Right.
And you won't be there.
yeah, you won't be there.
Well,
to
you'll be
experience. You would
Yeah.
be there, yeah, but
Right.
you're not experiencing it.
So you guys mostly do weddings, and like I said, you guys live in Portland, but that's not always been the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm originally from Iowa and Maddie's from Texas.
We started our business in Cedar Falls, Iowa, where Taylor went to school at Hawkeye in the photography program. But I went to school at UNI in social work. So originally we didn't start out as like the photography duo, but that's where we got started, and I always kind of went with them, and then
Right.
it progressed from there.
So Taylor went for photography, and then you were getting your master's in social work.
Yep.
Then once you graduated, you guys took off to Portland.
Yep.
Yeah, it was about a year and a half afterwards. Yeah, we had a house and everything that we owned here that we sold first, and you know, took our time to say goodbye to people.
So then when you moved to Portland, things got a little weird in the fact that Madye just graduated with a master's in social work, and that's a good job to have.
Yeah.
That's a really good job to have, and you haven't worked that job at all.
Well, I have. So after I graduated with my master's, I worked in medical social work at Allen Hospital for a little over a year, or maybe it was just at a year. And that's when we moved to Portland. And I tried for months to get a social work job in Portland.
Okay.
And the only one, I finally got one. It was part-time at a nursing home, which was not actually anything I ever really wanted to do. Doing like hospice and things like that. And I'm convinced that the only reason I got that job is because my boss was from Iowa and saw that I was from Iowa on my resume.
Actually, that happened to
Yeah.
you 3 times, where all 3 jobs you got in Portland was because you were from Iowa.
Yeah, the other 2 I worked at 2 different bars that were owned by the same guy, and he literally like in my interview was like, "Well, you're from Iowa, so
Right.
I'll hire you because you actually work."
Yeah, you'll show up.
But before you guys moved, the wedding business wasn't what it was, and then you guys moved there, and explain kind of what happened and how it led to you guys being
Well, yeah.
employed together now.
When we first moved there, we didn't think at all we were going to be doing photography. I was actually moving there to go back to school. I just needed to do something in art that actually paid me money, because I always wanted to do art my entire life. So I went back to school for graphic design, But in Portland, and also all colleges, are extremely expensive, and you have to do a lot of prerequisites first. So I was just going to a couple classes and at the same time working at a camera store. At the camera store, I just sold people a bunch of camera gear, which I'd already done before in my life.
And like your dreams.
Yeah, I was selling my dreams to people for the second time in my life.
Here's all these good ideas with these cameras that you
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah.
That I wish I was doing.
Yeah, exactly. And basically, we kind of thought about it like, let's just try to do just like one gig here and there, try to find a way that we can make just a little extra money, and also so I don't kill myself.
Jeez.
Aggressive.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, working in retail at Christmas will make you want to do those things.
And then at the same time, like I was working part-time at this nursing home, and then the other half bartending, which was like fine. I've done that forever, and you know, everybody probably goes through that, but like neither of us were doing what we wanted to do. Like that nursing home job, while rewarding at times, you can only watch so many people die before it's like, wow, this is just not where I wanted to be.
A little sad, a little depressing.
It was.
But like, how'd you guys go from knowing no one in Portland really to having a business where you have 50 weddings in a year over, you know, a course of a couple of years? Just like social media? Do you like?
So
word of mouth?
it started because
Let's start with the idea of just like it's like the jump. It's like kind of like the same idea of why we went to Portland in the first place, because we needed something new, and we needed to like, you know, find something a little bit more artistic and go adventure out there. The same idea came with us for starting our business there. It was all really just started with, man, like we got to wake up today and just start hustling at anything we can possibly figure out on how to make this work.
You guys had a business. You had a business
in Cedar
for
Falls.
photography.
Yeah.
But when you first moved to Portland, you were like, you kind of just had weddings booked in Iowa.
We had
nothing
one
really.
wedding booked
we had
in
one
Iowa.
wedding we were going to come back for.
Yeah.
And yeah, besides that, we had nothing
Started
ever
from scratch.
Yeah.
But so like a friend of a friend of a friend introduced us to this guy in Portland named Brad, who is awesome. And we had never even met him before, but he really liked doing video and stuff like that, and he's really into the arts, just had a lot of it
Making short films. Yeah.
And he was working on this short, I don't even know if it was a short film or full length film, but a film with all these people for South by Southwest. And he just randomly invited us one day to come to where they were filming, and he was like, if you want, you can like take behind the scenes photographs and you know, but also just meet people and hang out and
Eat
be on a
free
movie
sandwiches.
set. Yeah.
We seriously went to go eat free sandwiches, kind of.
I actually got pulled into a scene, so don't know if you know that. I am famous.
You have your own IMDb page now? Yes.
I do. It was a coffee shop scene. I was in the background making like some hilarious fake conversation with a girl I never met on a couch. But at that day, we met quite a few people and talked about how like we had been doing weddings, but we weren't really planning on doing it there because we didn't know anybody and didn't even know where to start.
Or even how to start. Yeah.
And so she told us about this website that was just getting started, and you could put in put in a profile and get found to do weddings. I'm not going to say that website because they are not sponsoring your podcast.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that for free.
Yeah, but it's just basically like a
Did
job.
people bid on you then from there?
Yeah.
It's a job finding site. There's so many of them now.
Right.
And also in the wedding industry and photography industry, there's been like a huge boom of that kind of idea where people find you just by going to a website, and then that website has like the local photographers in your area.
But the biggest thing I learned from that, so what it did for us is it got us started.
Right.
And so it got us a couple weddings, and then from those
very,
couple weddings,
very low paying wedding.
very low.
Yeah, like as in like $400, but don't tell anyone that we got paid for it because they'll get mad at us. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you
gotta
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. And we had absolutely nothing.
And to us, we still were like $400. You know, like yeah.
For 4 hours, yeah, we can do that.
But once you start doing that, and so we did those couple weddings, and then we had photos that were wedding photos taken in Portland
Right.
that you can share on social media. And once you share something like where you want to shoot, it's people will find that.
Right.
And so it kind of took off from there of like us being able to show things. Sorry.
Also, just when we shot those weddings, I mean, they were low paying, but we made them look like the best weddings in the world. Just like put as much work as we possibly could in them, so that we could get positive reviews. And we made sure, like every wedding we shot, they were like, "Hey, yeah, just review,
Gotta
please."
spend money to make money.
Yeah.
And so like from the beginning, it was always to us like, even if we're taking a wedding that's going to be lower paying, but because we need to, or because we need the content, you act like that's the wedding that's paying you the most you've ever been paid. Like you never treat it like it's lower. And I think that's a huge part of why we're where we are at now. We've never gotten below a 5-star review.
Don't say that out loud.
But like, and
Knock on
that
something.
is one of the things in all of our meetings too, that people will say like, it's insane. Like you've been doing this for so long. You have awesome reviews.
And the way that also works too is like, just because we've been doing this for long enough, and we've put in that extra time with couples. Where is it going with this?
I don't know.
Yeah, couples.
Well, I wanted to say something about like how you pretty much did those first few weddings for free, and that's something.
That's where I was going. Yeah, it's just like, it's not like you're getting content, you're getting experience as well.
And I think a lot of people, when they first start something or something, they want the biggest, the baddest, the best, or they want to be paid like a professional, or a lot of people skip that step of, I'll do it for free for a while. And,
Yeah, I'll get dirty for a while.
I think, just like me thinking about my schooling, I'm going to work for 6 months for free. And it's like, yeah, it sucks, but
yeah.
But you're learning.
You have no
Right.
idea how much
Yeah,
that fuels passion.
Yeah.
When you realize it's not about money, it's just about you want to go out there and do it.
Right.
And you're doing it for, not only tomorrow, for your future, but also just for right now, just so you can get that.
yeah. So moral, don't take the easy road.
No.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
we
pay
still,
off. Yeah.
like, I mean, now we still do things for free. Like, if we know there's somewhere we really want to shoot,
Right. Or another niche
yeah,
market,
or like,
demographic of people.
or we're just like,
last
we really
year-
want to do something fresh and something we've never done before.
yeah, we'll do it for free. Like last year, I really wanted to do some intimate portraiture. And so one of our friends, Stephanie, who lives in Minneapolis, was up in Portland, and we were out at the beach, and I was just talking to her about how I wanted to get into that and how empowering it was. And she was like, let's just do it. And we did this whole shoot all for free. And I got so much back from that.
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
even though you do it for
Yeah.
free,
Well, it's just like, opening yourself up to opportunities, because other people, you don't understand, want to be involved in your dreams as well. Because it's exciting to watch other people's, like, what they're really passionate about, watching that evolve in front of them.
yeah,
People love to do things that help each other like that.
Right.
definitely.
So mostly weddings, couple other stuff on the side.
Yep. And then passion projects, little small things we do for just artistic integrity.
This year is my year of trying to, as much as I love weddings, trying to not let that be the only thing that I photograph, because a lot of times I do that.
Right.
So I want to make sure I do some of my fun stuff
Do some
too.
art.
Yeah.
Do art. So, talking about weddings, for both of you, what's the best part of shooting a wedding?
The people.
Yeah. Family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's like I don't know if the people was the right way to say it, like the moments. Like when I capture a real moment between two people, it's like crack. I like it.
I never knew how much I loved the idea of like families and things like that. Like I just never thought about it. And then once you start shooting so many different families coming together for the first time, or seeing each other for like since a long time, and knowing they won't see each other again for a long time, it's just like really cool, because they start letting loose, and it's just a lot of fun
And by
every
the end of
time.
the night, you're part of the family.
Yeah.
No, for
Oh,
real.
yeah.
Like we've been invited to like family brunches the next day.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I can't tell you how many moms I'm still in contact with. Like we get the Christmas cards.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's the best part. Now, what's the worst part of shooting a wedding?
Expectations for me, like Because there's a lot of preconceived expectations for all weddings. Everyone thinks it's going to go perfectly. That's number one. That always fails.
I tell everyone that
yeah.
it won't go perfectly.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second here, guys.
Okay.
You can keep talking.
Other things like, what would you say? Angry
Things
mothers.
that we don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's only happened like twice.
I know, and it's never towards us either. It's always towards something in the day. But there's not that many either. But that's just kind of like the cliche one.
For
I
you,
mean,
Maddie?
honestly, like for me, it's like I don't know. What do I not like about it? Probably the post, like having to go through, and because sometimes I go a little crazy with how much I shoot because I'm constantly looking for those like in between moments.
Right.
And so we can shoot a 8-hour wedding and have to cull through like 8,000 images. And we typically for an 8-hour wedding will deliver about 800 to 900 images. It's like that's a lot to narrow
It's
down.
important to know that we're good photographers because we shoot a lot of photos.
And that's how we get those moments.
That's what I was going to ask you too. How long does it take to edit a wedding?
Well,
From the minute you get done and you upload all the pictures to when they're all done.
We kind of
see.
split it up though. so
yeah.
talk a
Oh, I
little
guess
bit
I
about
put
that.
in about 8 hours, 8 to 12 hours, like editing for the culling. But Maddie also puts in, before I do that, about 6 hours of culling and making this like perfect story.
What's culling?
Culling is like picking which ones.
Yeah.
I don't do 6 hours per wedding to cull. That'd be insane.
Yeah, I guess I don't really pay attention.
No.
I'm playing video games during this time as well.
No, I'd say it takes me, because I split it up. I'll do like my first round of culling. That'll take me probably like an hour and a half, depending on how big the wedding is. And I'll like do my first round, and then I go do something else so that it's like out of my brain, and I can come back and like have a fresh look at it, and that'll probably take me another hour.
Change your mindset.
Yeah.
These things, the way we do things would go so much faster if we weren't watching movies and pacing the house and just like also trying to relax at the same time, because we're working from home. And also like to make something creative, you have to let yourself be inspired too.
You got to get out of the house.
Yeah.
You can't just sit there and edit.
Yeah, you gotta let things get like, have oxygen and breathe.
Yeah.
Marinate a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's definitely people that are out there that can do it way quicker, and then there's also people where it takes them like a whole week to edit something.
right.
Yeah.
And I just want to bring up one thing because I just think it's so funny that the pictures at weddings of you guys taking pictures of people taking pictures on their iPads of the groom, and they're in the way with their iPad.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like make sure to take those pictures.
right.
So that,
So
they can see.
just a public service announcement: if you're standing in front of the wedding photographer holding up a giant iPad or your camera, you're probably ruining the picture.
Yeah, you're definitely with the iPad for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's only
Yeah.
been one wedding where they where another person truly ruined. It was their first kiss.
Really?
I was in the aisle, like ready for it to happen, and right when it happened, this guy, we call them Uncle Bobs in
Right.
the industry, just steps out in the aisle right in front of me.
Oh yeah, and then
so-
walked right back into you and knocked on your butt too.
Yeah. And I told the bride after, because I immediately needed her to know the expectation that we were not going to have that photo because her guest did that. And oh my God, she ripped him a new one so
Yeah, we
hard.
felt really bad actually.
I did.
Yeah.
I felt bad
Did you
for
take a
telling
picture of him standing there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing
Until he
was
knocked
like
me
I
over.
was from the other angle, so I still got the shot luckily. But yeah,
Yeah, I was
So,
so
if you're
bad.
planning on getting married, keep that in the back of your mind,
yeah. What are they called? Just unplugged ceremonies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most people do that now.
Yeah,
which is smart.
great every time.
So, switching gears, you guys live in Portland. Me and Christy came and visited 2 summers ago. Give us a reason why we should come to Portland. Maddie, first.
It's beautiful.
That's not specific.
Yeah, at all.
What's
Yes,
beautiful
it is. It makes you.
All encompassing,
It
beautiful.
just no, like there's your
It rains every day.
no in the winter. No, in the summer, you can be in the city, wake up in the morning, and decide if you want to go to the beach, the desert, the like dense forest, the mountains, like you, all within like an hour and a half at most.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, and caves as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
volcanic.
Yeah.
rocks. You
Nude
could go to an
beaches.
active volcano.
NBA game,
NBA game, yeah.
Major League Soccer game.
Okay, well, you know I don't like the sports stuff. But yes,
Well,
you
they
could
got-
do that.
They got good comedy clubs. And
Oh, yeah, great
concert
comedy
So
clubs.
much comedy.
Yeah, and that's a reason why I love it the most is the food. Like the next one, like I live in that place because of the food, and I'm gonna have a hard time ever leaving it because of the food. It's just so fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, me and Maddie were talking to this Vietnamese guy that was staying with us 2 weeks ago, and he was telling us that Vietnamese food that he had in Portland was almost better than what his mom cooks / better than what's better in Vietnam, or the best food in Vietnam.
Right.
I wasn't there for that conversation, but I believe you
Yeah.
because it's really good.
Right. Well, cool. So Portland, everyone get a chance to visit if you can.
You should. It's also just it's a very accepting city. I feel very welcome everywhere I go.
It's a little aggressive at some time.
Well, if you're walking down by all of the homeless shelters right before
I'm just talking
4:30,
like government-wise, it's a little aggressive.
Has
the
it?
more cities.
Yeah.
well, like
liberally, or
aggressive
liberally,
to
or just
fight
liberal.
for what's right.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to get political because no one wants to listen to politics at all.
I
But
could go on for hours, but I won't.
if you're into that kind of stuff,
Yeah. We had
Portland's the place to be.
last year for the Women's March was fantastic. I imagine
Best
we
day
weren't
of my
there
life.
this year, but I bet it
you
was
guys
just
got
as
some
good.
good pictures. So remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunities for those types of things to happen there too, and that includes both sides of it. I mean, it's a very open-minded city as well.
Right.
Definitely.
So, weddings. You've been doing weddings. What's kind of next in the future? What's your guys' plan? 5-year plan, 3-year plan, 1-year plan?
Well, in June, let's start off with this summer. We bought a 1984 Westphalia Westie, which is a pop-up camper van. It's amazing. Has a sink, stove,
Fridge.
What year is
fridge.
it? 87?
84.
Oh, okay.
So it's 3 years older than me. And in June, we will be living out of it, like living in it, probably for a year. And we're just kind of
2
figuring out.
years.
She says 2 years. I started with like 9 months, so it's already growing.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I couldn't do everything I want to do in a year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
limit myself.
in June, we move into that. We shoot weddings all summer. We're lucky enough that Maddie's brother also lives in Portland, Oregon. So
Got a home base.
yeah, home base, get ready for weddings or just for work and have the dogs hang out. And then other than that, just like be out in the woods, taking pictures, editing, and just relaxing,
Do you
figuring out
have
how to
like
go.
a route or anything in particular, or regions that you're gonna go to for the month, or?
Kind of. So for the summer, while we're still shooting weddings in Portland, we haven't really set our cutoff date. We have a couple weddings booked in Portland later that we'll fly back to if we need to. But sorry. But so we haven't set our cutoff date yet. We should probably do that soon.
Yeah.
But so like kind of back to how you said, like when you're editing, you need to get inspired.
Right.
Something I'm excited about this summer is that we'll come back to Portland, or like we'll have that home base on the weekends when we're gonna go shoot weddings, but then we'll like head out in the van to like Crater Lake and edit during the week and
Right.
be doing that out in nature. So like for the summer, I want to make a list of all of the places in the Pacific Northwest that we haven't spent as much time in as we'd like to.
Right. At least spend a few days in each one.
Yeah, because we've barely touched Washington, which is there's so much more up
And
there.
then Southern Oregon, really, either.
You need to go to Lake Tahoe at some point.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
go on Sand Harbor.
Well, that's gonna be so. So then, once we get to the cutoff date, whenever we set it, I think we're kind of planning on just like heading south through California, like
Chasing
Lake
the sun.
Tahoe, Yosemite,
Right.
and go all the way down to Baja, Mexico, and then we want to do Mexico, like ride the coast of Mexico, because we have quite a few friends that live in Mexico, but on the other side, in Monterey. So I want to make sure that we get there so that we can see them, because I've been telling them that we would for a few years,
Right.
and I think if I don't do it soon, they might kill me.
Yep. And during all this time, we'll be figuring out how to run a photography business out of a van. And,
I've
just
already-
people on the road.
I've already got a lot of things in
Yeah.
place. I've switched to a lot of online things that I'm going to start doing now, so I'm used to them.
Like what?
Um,
Like, what do you
online
mean?
online contracting systems,
okay.
because I'm like an old woman and still like to use paper contracts because I like to hold things in my hand to be able to count it out. But so I'm, switching to that and just kind of moving everything to more online so that my office can be wherever I am.
Right.
And then also the idea of like finding work on the road as well. We'll still have the home bases Portland. Like we plan on coming back the following summer to shoot more weddings and other type of work. Luckily enough, living in a van for a while is much more cheaper than renting a home in Portland. Much more cheaper.
Much.
Yeah. So we'll be able to take a little extra time to travel.
Right. Well, and when you're out traveling, say you're in Oklahoma for whatever reason, someone calls you up and say, "Hey, can you do a wedding in California? We'll fly you out." All you gotta do is park at the airport.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Fly out, come back to Oklahoma, and get in your car and keep going.
Exactly. And that's the plan. Is that
Get
we
a few
can
here and there.
Yeah, it's so easy to be able to do that, and as long as there's a lot of stuff that you wouldn't think about to plan. So like things like we need to figure out what kind of camera bag would work best for us to be able to do that, to like keep it in the van and be able to fly with it,
And
stuff
also
like that.
go hike up big mountains, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta think about locking all that stuff up
Oh,
in
yeah.
your van
Oh.
because
That's true.
someone walks by and sees all that. laying there.
I have a plan of a safe that is going to be built.
Yeah, our van's basically getting remodeled on the inside.
Yeah.
Nice.
It'll be secure.
You'll have to post some pictures of it or a video to her once it's completed. Before
Oh yeah,
your
we'll probably
journey.
do it as we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's such a huge like van community out there. Like a lot of the places we're going, especially like in Mexico, are all places that people that basically live in their life or van lifers like do every day, just constantly. There's like if you go through Portland streets, man, you'll see vans everywhere. There's so many people living in them right now.
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
It 100% is, and it's a really, really fun. Which I encourage everyone who's listening to like go check it out. Just like what people are doing with them, and just like the lives they live. They work much more minimally, and like to just explore and just like find themselves.
There's a lot you gotta give up though.
There is.
Oh yeah,
There is.
welcome to life though. I mean,
Yeah.
But I think that
There's
the
that-
things that you give up, like, I don't know, you just got to look at your life and what means the
Right.
most to you.
Well, and you'll get other things that you won't.
yeah.
It's trading off.
Yeah, we could stay in Portland, eventually buy our own house, start filling it with a bunch of stuff that we think we need, or we can go, live on the road, figure out all the things that we don't need and everything that makes us happy, and try to keep it simple, and then just find those big answers.
And we travel quite a bit anyways, like we have for the past couple of years. And every time that we travel, when we get back home, it's almost immediately that we start talking about where we're going to travel to next.
We start talking while we're there.
Yeah. Like before the current trip is even over, we're like,
We need to
okay,
probably start fixing that, 'cause, we just like to talk about it so much. I mean, it's half the fun is planning it.
Well, but because it's also just changed so much about us, like through traveling and through photography, and I would almost even say specifically Mystic Seminars, which is a photography conference that we started going to 3 years ago, that I truly would say changed our lives. We've just met so many different people from around the world, and like being a part of their cultures and their experiences, and just broadening yourself and what you know and think about what life means to you and other people is really cool. And it's like I'm chasing that high. I just want to keep meeting more people. And
It's kind of interesting that my first two real podcast guests are both people that are traveling a lot. So don't get the wrong idea. I'm bringing more people on. But yeah,
Everyone
there's
should
a lot of
travel
people out
more,
there
though.
maybe listening that, oh, that's good for you guys. You're young, Everyone-
for sure.
You know what?
You don't have kids, but
What it really costs is that new iPhone X to go travel, or
or the new kitchen table when you already have one.
Yeah.
And that's just tiny little sacrifices that in your life, you don't think add up. They do, because you can do so much in this
It's
world.
a lot
very
cheaper
cheap.
now,
Yeah,
especially with Airbnb. You can get a whole house for
and that
$300 a week.
When we were in Spain last year, we had the most absolutely beautiful Airbnb. Like Spain was where we were like, okay, we're gonna get like this villa, because we were staying there the longest during our trip, and It was so cheap.
Yeah.
It was
It
so
overlooked
cheap.
a castle, Alhambra.
Alhambra.
Alhambra,
The
sorry.
Alhambra.
I drank a lot of wine there. Forgot names.
Yeah, like it had this beautiful balcony that overlooked the whole city. It was magical and
Cheap.
I
did
think it was
not
like
cost that much money.
$68 a night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yeah, so if you don't have that, we're actually, because I'm going to Salt Lake City in April, into April with my classmates for the National Conference for Occupational Therapy.
Awesome.
And we
Utah
all,
is amazing, by the way.
I know, I'm excited. I haven't been to Salt Lake, but we've drove through a little bit of Utah, and we got we have 13 people going, and we just got a huge house.
Fun.
And it's like, I think it was like $1,500 for 4 nights, but after all, it's like $110 a person for 4 nights.
Yeah,
And it's like
amazing.
2 miles away from the convention center.
And you'll have so much fun staying with all those people, too. Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Are you staying a little longer than the convention at all to explore?
Well, hopefully we'll get there a day early, depending. And then the convention kind of gets over like Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and then we'll leave Sunday morning and come back.
Cool.
So
A little bit.
we'll sprinkle in something here or there, I'm sure. But it's like $300 to go, so that's a lot for students. And like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a lot of good opportunities to like meet people and network and get like continuing eds, although they don't really count for us. But
Maybe you'll have the experience that we had the first year we went to Mystic. You meet all these different people.
Yeah,
and,
dude,
like,
it's so
students can,
expensive.
like, win a bunch of like free stuff, and like there's always these vendors like giving away goniometers and tape measures and all that kind of stuff.
That's a
Awesome.
good. That's a good thing though. Like, if you do have these passions, there's going to be other people that have these passions, and especially nowadays, it's so worth it to like go see what these groups are about. Small conventions, even just like small things
Yeah,
that
I
are
wanna
going on
go-
in your
I want to
hometown.
go to like Tony Robbins like 4-day thing in Florida every
Yeah.
year, and like,
Yeah, just feel good. Yeah.
dude, I would totally do that.
It's worth it too. Yeah. That stuff like lasts for a long time.
Right.
You feel that high for a long time,
Yeah.
and it translates into your work instantly.
Right.
Well, it also like because it's different with photographers. You know, you go to class or you're gonna go to a job where you have coworkers. We don't have that. You know,
Right.
we're for the most part just the
Yeah, you
two
don't
of
get
us.
Yeah.
But ideas off people's
Exactly.
bounce
Yeah.
ideas
You
off
just get to look at everyone else's amazing photos and go, I wish that was me. Yeah. I wish I took that.
So everyone's pretty chill at the conference. No one's like competitive.
No,
No.
not
And
at
then
all.
that's like kind of like the takeaway is like these people aren't here to compete with you. They're here to
To
teach
help
you.
you and-
Right.
And then as soon as you walk in with that mentality, including the
Yeah.
people that are attending, it's just like, yes.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
so much fun. You learn so much.
And it was just like finally we're like, oh my gosh, like we have a community.
Yeah.
Look at all of these people that have so much in common with us. It was
And
awesome.
they, like we said, they're all from around the world pretty much. And like we still stay in great touch with them, talk to them all the time. It's not something that gets lost as soon as you leave. Yeah.
There's a place for everyone, you know. There's
Oh, yeah.
Pokemon tournaments every weekend.
Oh yeah, they're
There's
huge.
furry conventions every weekend. You know, if you got a niche, there's
There's
Yeah.
something out there
people
for you,
out there.
Yeah.
So
especially with the internet nowadays.
it's easier. So
To find anything.
Yeah, we're just like we'll be living in the van. We'll still have the internet and that thing too. It'll be crazy.
so. Well, anything else you guys want to hit before we leave?
What's it like being a pug owner?
It is awesome. Pugs are good.
Pugs are pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you hear something growling in the background, it's Walter. So.
usually is. Well, if you hear something going like that in
He's-
our house, that's our pug. Yeah,
Pugs are like mogwais
yeah.
I don't
they
know
make-
what that is.
from Gremlins. Gremlins.
Actually, they're more like the gremlins than they are the mogwais.
That's
though.
probably true.
Like what they turn into, the monsters. Yeah,
Yeah.
they slime everything.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just say to travel and to try new things because I went to school with my master's in social work and now I'm a photographer. So
Yeah, things change pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
yeah.
just because you started doing one thing doesn't mean you have to do it forever.
Yeah, I
Just
think
do
a lot
what
of
makes you
people,
happy.
especially at the higher education levels, they get stuck where they have to do something.
Yeah, it was really
That-
hard for me to transition
right.
into photography.
And also,
I mean,
if-
you can always go
sorry.
back, but
Yeah. And that's what I told myself was because when I quit that job, it was like my degree is always going to be here. I can always go
Right.
back to that. But this opportunity that we're actually like booking these weddings and we're traveling.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah, like that won't be there. So it was scary, but it was honestly the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Right. So do you maintain your license in any state?
So with social work, you can get licensed, but you don't have to. So like in some states, it depends on what kind of job you want to do in social work, if you have to have your license or not. But like at any time, I can go take a licensing test.
Oh, okay.
So if I wanted to do that in like 5
OT
years,
is a
I
little
could.
different. If you don't,
Yeah, you should probably do
if
a
you
little
don't stay
studying
on
before
top
you
of
do
that,
it.
you'll lose your license. And you can then the only way to get your like, say I don't keep my license in Iowa. If I just let it slide, then I can only practice. I'm not sure exactly how it is. You can only practice in that state, and then if you want to go to another state, then you have to retake the national exam or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So some people like that are like, I'm never leaving the state, will just like let their license expire. But
Yeah.
like if you live in Oregon and then you move to Iowa, you'll want to keep your Oregon license if you think you're ever going to go back. Because then if you wanted to go back, you'd have to take your national exam again to get your license.
Yeah. And if anybody's a social worker listening to this, like, don't quote me on that.
Right. Things change.
Because
Every day.
it's been like 3 years since I did anything in social work. So
Yeah, we don't need licenses to do what we do. So
no.
Right. Alrighty. Well, I think that's it. Everyone, you can find Taylor and Madye on Instagram, Facebook. Where else?
And our website.
yeah,
Website,
TaylorandMadye.com.
email address.
Hello@TaylorandMadye.com.
and that's Madye with an Madye.
Oh, yes. I'm very special.
The most special.
So I'll post that on the show notes. Any last comments, questions, concerns?
We love you very much.
Yeah. I love that you're doing this.
Love the podcast.
Namaste.
Everybody should do what they love.
Yep.
Right. All right, guys. Take it easy.
Namaste.